Tom Homan, woo! Tom Homan is getting mad. Brand new video of Tom Homan walking right outside the White House. There's this like little media row that you have to walk into before you would go into like that area where they have the press conferences. And you go through the security check and then you like walk through and there's all of these sort of little tents where the media is set up. And so he's walking through this and they start shouting questions at him about the alleged bribe he took, which he's already come out and said this is bogus. The White House has come out and said it's bogus. And he was already in a rush. He had no time of day for them. Let's watch. Okay, so there's the tents I told you about. He's walking along. Mr. Homan? Mr. Homan, they shout.
I'm not trying today, folks. I'm 20 minutes late.
I'm 20 minutes late for something.
Did you take the $50,000 cash in the bag?
Did you hear that? They said, did you take a $50,000 bribe? And he's like, give me a break. I'm sick of this from you peeps, okay? And I got to tell you, he's saying this is not true. The White House is saying it's not true. I mean, I look at it, right, as a journalist, and I'm like, how does this all come out? Like, what was this? Was this some kind of weird sting operation where we're only getting half the story, that the FBI allegedly set him up because they wanted to? I mean, think about what we went through with Russia, and the so-called dirty dossier, right? I mean, Rachel Maddow and company over on MSNBC, and forgive me, it wasn't just MSNBC, it was the entire media establishment, from the New York Times to ABC News to NBC News, you name it. They were all in on this was somehow fact. So much fact that in fact, pun intended, you had Jimmy Carter, the now deceased Jimmy Carter, before he died, coming out and saying, well, he's not a legitimate president because he was put in place by the Russians. Like, these people are pretty unbelievable. So as an American, like, what are you to believe? I'll tell you what, I'm pretty simple at this point. I believe Tom Homan. Watch what he said.
I know George Stephanopolus is one of your best friends. Mm-hmm. He convicted you on television, okay, of a $50,000 bribe. That's really important what Bill O'Reilly just said there. He convicted you on television of a $50,000 bribe. This is what Stephanopolus was saying on his weekend show. I'll show it to you. He's got the vice president, right, on for an interview, and all he can talk about is Tom Homan because somebody is trying to take out Tom Homan. Why? Oh, because Tom Homan is serious about border crossings, and he's not putting up with anybody's BS. Let's go. Stephanopolus did this on ABC. The vice president, J.D. Vance, defended you. And I thought he did so pretty well, because due process is important. Do you want to clarify anything about that situation?
I didn't take $50,000 from anybody.
Okay. How did that get into the mainstream, do you think?
I have no idea. Look, there's been hit pieces on me since I came back to this administration. There's got to be 30, 40 hit pieces on me about how I'm involved with contracts and government contracts, when in fact, day one I came back, I recused myself from any discussions on any contract or any monetary decisions like that, because I used to have a company that did consulting. So I cleared myself day one. What people don't talk about is I took a significant, huge pay cut to come back and serve my nation. And I'm not enriching myself doing this job.
Does this make you angry that they're coming at you this way?
I don't care what people think about me and never have. No, because I know who I am. I work for the greatest president in the history of this nation, in my opinion, and we're doing the right thing every day.
Okay.
You know, he did take a pay cut. And I think that that's a very important sort of aspect of this. He feels a patriotic duty to do what he's doing. It's not because he needs to go and take bribes. So he just denied it right there. So what I'm telling you guys, what I'm telling you is that he needs to take this further. Thank you, by the way. I'm looking at QT. Thank you for the generosity. We've got a whole bunch of very generous folks here on this Friday evening. I really appreciate it. Adriano as well. I'm glad that you feel relaxed when you listen to my show. I'm definitely glad to hear that. Anyway, the point being that Tom Homan is there for a reason, because he wants to help this country and he wants to help this president. And yet look at what they're trying to do to him. They're trying to destroy him. And I'm telling you, I don't buy it. I don't believe it. And I really am at the point now where, you know, you fool me once, shame on me, right? You fool me twice. How's it go? You fooled me once, shame on you. You fooled me twice, shame on me. And that's the thing, because we've been lied to over and over and over and over again. And at some point, enough is enough. Incidentally, I have more to do on this story, but I am just pinning my Spotify show actually to the top of our chat, of our live chat. If you get a chance, please go over there and subscribe to it. It would be really great because we only have 13,000 subs over there. And I'm trying to, we got to keep up appearances here, guys. We're at 1.1 million. I love it. I love it. I love it. But the show always airs. If you don't catch me live, you get the replay over there as well. So thank you. But the point being with Tom is that, of course, he should be livid, because this is what went down last Sunday on Georgie Poo's show. Georgie, who's already had to pay $16 million, well, his network, because he libeled the president of the United States, who was then running for office on live television, and he seems to have no problem libeling anybody he can.
I don't know what tape you're referring to, George. I saw media reports that Tom Homan accepted a bribe. There's no evidence of that. And here's, George, why fewer and fewer people watch your program and why you're losing credibility. Because you're talking for now 5 minutes with the Vice President of the United States about this story regarding Tom Homan, a story that I've read about, but I don't even know the video that you're talking about. Meanwhile, low-income women can't get food because the Democrats and Chuck Schumer have shut down the government. Right now, we're trying to figure out how to pay our troops because Chuck Schumer has shut down the government. You are focused on a bogus story. You're insinuating criminal wrongdoing against a guy who has done nothing wrong, instead of focusing on the fact that our country is struggling because our government's shut down. Let's talk about the real issues, George. I think the American people would benefit much more from that than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No, George, I said that I don't.
Up next, we'll be right back.
Oldest trick in the book, okay? Oldest trick in the book. The anchor shuts the other person down. In this case, the Vice President of the United States. By the way, Donald Trump didn't appreciate that. He came out the next day and had some nasty things to say about ABC fake news, as he called it. Let me just give you some more specificity around this. The Justice Department closed this investigation. It was initiated under the previous administration. Oh gosh darn, that administration that was constantly weaponizing itself against all of us, right? I got more on that, because 30 million phone records were confiscated. They illegally, I can't say wiretap because the New York Times has a problem with that. You got to be technically correct. It was called tolling. They gathered metadata on all kinds of people and came up with 30 million phone records that then they were tracking in order to try and map out the MAGA movement. Charlie Kirk's group included in that. Anyway, they were going after Homan in previous administration. Reuters, of course, Reuters, were they getting USAID money? Probably, because, Reuters, as I recall, they had all those overseas publications. So take it to Reuters, right? Reuters came out with a story saying that Homan allegedly accepted $50,000 in a bag of cash from undercover agents who posed as business executives. Apparently, according to Homan, this was all true. He never accepted $50,000. He did formerly have a consulting business. Ultimately, the investigation, which was again initiated under the other team, was shut down by the Department of Justice, who found, after an internal review, no credible evidence of any kind of criminal wrongdoing. And so I'm just saying, if ABC wants to keep running with that story, maybe it's time for Homan to fire back. I think he might actually do it. Just sue them, okay? Sue them out of business. Well, then you also have the whole issue of, are they really serving the public good? They are on FCC airwaves, after all. I mean, you can say whatever you want, right? Freedom of speech, First Amendment, I'm all for it. But you're on ABC News. I've worked in network news. You actually have to be more careful in network news, or at least you used to. I mean, it's a whole new ballgame. As long as you're anti-Trump, it's totally fine. And so that's what they were doing. That's what they did. And you got to start asking real questions about all of it, because more is coming out. The weaponization was severe. Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, the president of the United States, releasing a lot of info, and we're getting it day by day. We're going to get more. They just fired a whole bunch of FBI spies that were tracking the phone records. You know the story of 8 sitting U.S. senators and a congressman, along with 92 organizations that were somehow associated with the MAGA movement. So things like Turning Point USA, for goodness sakes. And I'll tell you, you know who said it well? John Solomon. They were trying to map us out. They were trying to figure out who mattered and strike us down and get rid of us, debank us, do whatever they could to make sure that we collectively did not have a voice.
The committee gets up and running in 2022. They go out and get this massive dragnet of phone records, 30 million. You don't need 30 million phone calls to figure out what was going on January 6th. What were they doing? They were mapping the MAGA movement with every piece of data they could. It was basically creating an enemies list. That's what the J6 committee was doing in this project. And think about the scope and scale of what they've now done. 30 million lines of phone records trying to figure out everybody who talked to the Trump White House. 92 groups, including Charlie Kirk's TPUSA and everybody else in the conservative movement. 8 members of Congress in the Senate, 1 member of the Congress in the House. They were mapping an enemies list. This was an investigation purportedly to solve what happened at the Capitol that instead was trying to figure out who are the movers and shakers in the MAGA movement that we can stop in 2024.
You hear that? It's incredible. I was on one platform that I got shut down for well over a year on because I shared a story about Hunter Biden's laptop. And I have friends that were knocked off all kinds of platforms. And they did this under the guise of threatening these companies. I mean, you heard what Mark Zuckerberg said about it all on Joe Rogan's show, saying that his team was getting all this pressure from the White House. And they were sort of like threatening all of these companies, and they were using their ability to target these companies in order to get them to do certain things and to shut down certain accounts. It's actually illegal. You can't do that. I mean, granted, if Facebook doesn't want Trish Regan on, I guess they have a right to say we don't want Trish Regan on. They're a private company. But when you have the government going and saying we don't want Trish Regan on, that's a whole different can of worms. Like, that needs to come out as well. What happened should never have happened. Not in the United States of America. It is what you call banana republic kinds of stuff. David, thank you so much. I'm glad you liked the show today. It's good to see you back here. Unc Andy, we got a lot of our, Dawn is here, everybody, my whole team, right? I'm looking for Leslie. Anyway, it never should have happened. Cat Crazy, good to see you. Never, ever, ever, and it can't ever happen again. You with me? It can never happen again. And so if it takes payback, retribution, you call it whatever you want to call it, I just want to make sure that no one's going to be out there like a Letitia James trying to take down somebody who's considered a political enemy. Because that's not a country we want to live in. That's not the country we know. That's not what we were ever supposed to be. So all of this nonsense, from the trans junk and, who competes in women's sports, boys' sports, to the DEI movement, we're going to award somebody a job based on the color of their skin. I'm sorry, we got a constitution. You can't do that. Like, you just can't do that. Let the best man or woman win, I say, right? The meritocracy that has made the United States of America the country it is because of the freedom to allow everybody a fair shot. Because you don't judge them by the color of their skin. For goodness sakes, these people are more racist than they ever dreamed of being, aren't they? Really and truly. And now Donald Trump comes along and says, hey, I'm going to help you. I'm going to clean up Chicago for you. And they say, don't you dare. This is a total infringement on our rights. Don't come near us. I don't think so. I don't think so. We got some real problems, and we need to make sure that we actually do make this country safer for every single American. I will say this. Donald Trump figured a great workaround. He figured out how to go direct to the people. I mean, that's why they tried to shut off all the social media, but he knew how to go direct. He didn't need the networks. I don't need a network. I'm right here with you. No teleprompters. I don't have 40 people in the studio checking my hair and makeup constantly. I just do it myself now. It's better that way. You know, a little flatter. I had some really big hair back in the day, but that was, that's all in operation. This is so much more authentic. This is so much more real. And yes, he's better at social media. I'm telling you, he gets it. Here's a funny example. We put this in the shorts feed. Watch. The White House tweeted it out.
Republicans have been appealing to audiences, especially young people like myself, online using social media. Why does Republican messaging on social media seem so much more effective than Democratic messaging?
Well, that's a great question. I think the Republicans are effective. They have learned a lot about social media. And by the way, it doesn't hurt that their friends own all of the major social media platforms.
Or maybe they just have a much better sense of humor. They do, right? They really do. Justin, thank you so much. Posting another super chat for my rant on meritocracy. I can rant, believe me. I could sit here for 3 hours and rant. I try not to rant too much because I want to make sure you guys see all the elements, all the stuff that's in the news, and make sure that you get a full, complete show. But maybe I'll come on over the weekend and we'll have a rant for the members channel because I know Donna's been after me to do that. Look, Chicago's a mess. They don't want to take his help. It's crazy. LA, same thing. They don't want to take his help. I can tell you this, some news just came in. The Trump administration is taking this all the way to the Supreme Court. This is a big deal. They just announced, actually, that they're moving this one forward. The Trump administration on Friday asked for the Supreme Court to allow the deployment of National Guard troops in the Chicago area. So according to AP, they're escalating President Trump's conflict with Democrat governors. Are they really escalating it? Or is it actually Chicago? Because, you know, they were able to help clean up D.C. lickety-split because the Democrat mayor was not willing to stand in the face of it. She's like, yeah, I need the help. I need the money. I need law enforcement. Bring it on. And so they did, and they had great success. And now they got to go to the Supreme Court because they're like, Chicago's a mess. They're creating in Chicago all of these ICE area what should we call them? ICE-free zones, right? That's Brendan Johnson's ICE-free zones now being challenged by Trump. I'm putting this on the screen for you in Supreme Court. And this is massive, okay? This is a big deal. So again, the article just coming out moments ago here, we see that the Trump administration is actually moving forward, requesting that the Supreme Court take this on because, hey, if Chicago's a mess and Chicago is a challenging place for anybody to live, does the federal government not have some responsibility to make sure things are a little bit better? No, according to Pritzker, this is somehow an attempt to steal the election. Think about that logic. He has come out and said he's trying to steal the election. That's all this National Guard thing is about. I'm like, well, maybe it's about trying to keep people safe. Maybe people in the city of Chicago deserve to be a little bit safe. I mean, I've been looking on TikTok. I've been looking on YouTube. I've been looking all over. And what I keep seeing over and over again is a lot of people in Chicago saying, please come here. Please come here, Donald Trump. I am sick of the way things are going. Here's a guy. They're painting the town red out in Chicago.
I don't know how it go in your city, town, state, but in Chicago, when we go vote, you always got 2-3 women at the door telling you to vote all Democrat. They don't give you the history of nobody. They don't tell you what neighborhoods these people from. They tell everybody in line, just vote blue. I'm done, bro. I'm voting red.
It's happening. Yeah. It's happening. And they don't like it. And so they're going to fight it. They're going to accuse him of all kinds of crazy things all over again. It's like, here we go. And I'm just saying this. You know what? We have to stand up to it because we can't live in a country like that. It's good to have you all here. Thank you for subscribing. Make sure you subscribe, share, like, make a comment. I do read the comments late at night on the show. So do what you can. Spread the word. Go follow me on Spotify. And we'll catch up over the weekend. Thank you.